Biafra, superstars, media.
My people, how una day? My Biafran people, now how una day? I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Today, I want to speak to the one they call Uche Mefor, aka the sleeping DJ. The man when he's having his program live on Radio Biafra, he'll be snoring, he'll be half awake, half asleep, because he has gone for his security job in the night, and in the morning he's tired, but he's still doing the program, and in the process, he's snoring. The one they call the sleeping DJ, the one that went about around the whole world with NNAMDIKANU, but somehow at the end, he betrayed NNAMDIKANU. Today, as we know, he's still the one attacking NNAMDIKANU. In this video you're about to listen to, our sister Project, or what's her name again? Progress the Analyst. She discussed about Uche Mefor, and she was praising Uche Mefor in this video. So I said, let me watch her video, what Uche Mefor said, and her own analysis. As you know, I'm somebody that goes deeper. So when I went deeper in the analysis of Uche Mefor, what I saw or I heard from him was an oxymoron, the love and hate, saying two different things at the same time, saying two opposing things at the same time. It is called an oxymoron. For example, if I say, I love you so much that I hate you, it is an oxymoron. I'm so happy but sad. Oxymoron. You see, he is alive but dead. Oxymoron. He is good and bad. Oxymoron. Love him and hate him. Oxymoron. So when they say they love me and hate me, it is an oxymoron. Saying two opposing things at the same time. A better way of saying it is to say when someone is doing a double speech, when someone is speaking from both sides of his mouth, they call it an oxymoron. Oxymoron. Unfortunately, my sister, Progress the Analyst, you did not see what Uche Mefor was doing. But me, because I know the history of Uche Mefor, I saw the fallout between him and NNAMDIKANU. So when he was speaking in this video, where he's saying, oh, Sigmund Ekpa is good, and oh, you the DOS, you are painting Sigmund Ekpa as bad, but guess what? Sigmund Ekpa is the same as NNAMDIKANU. If you say NNAMDIKANU is good, then you must say Sigmund Ekpa as being good. What he was saying there was an oxymoron, because to him, NNAMDIKANU is a bad guy. So he's presenting a picture that if they are saying Sigmund Ekpa is a bad guy, they should also see NNAMDIKANU as a bad guy. But my sister here, Progress the Analyst, you looked at it from one side of the coin. You should have flipped the coin and analyzed from the other side. So in this video, I will complete the job for you. Don't get me wrong, you did a great job, but I will complete the job for you because I know the psychology of the one they call Uche Mefor, the sleeping DJ. I sabi the game. I know what he's trying to do towards NNAMDIKANU. So if you are ready, my people, let me present to you how to go in depth in an analysis. If you are ready, listen to the video and I'll come back. Listen.
False accusation against him. They have joined hands with people that do not love him. Now their eyes don't clear. But we should not go to that.
Listen.
Let us first of all listen to what Uche Mefor said. I know a lot of people were blasting him that, why will you say this? Why will you say that? But believe me, he speaks the truth in this aspect.
Hold it there. Who is speaking now is our sister, Progress the Analyst. He's saying that we should believe her. Uche Mefor spoke truth. But I've told you, in the analysis of an oxymoron, there's something they call the true lies, through lies. You are speaking truth, but they are lies. If you are ready, let me take you on a three-way analysis. Oh my God, I love this. This is what I love in my job. Listen to what she said, and now watch Uche Mefor break it down. I will now counter Uche Mefor because I know the game he was playing. Listen.
Listen to him.
And what am I saying here? Sigmund Ekpa is NNAMDIKANU's disciple.
Yes.
The two are inseparable.
Yes.
So anybody making a distinction in order to, I don't even know, to protect or exonerate themselves, that person is a fool forever.
Hold it first. He said anybody who is making a distinction in order to protect themselves is a fool or whatever. So see where he's coming from. Oh? He's saying Sigmund Ekpa and NNAMDIKANU, they are inseparable. But anybody making a distinction, which is trying to, say, there is some differences, is deceiving themselves. But I will show you where he's going. I will paint that picture. I will catch him for where he's going. Listen.
Psychopath. The likes of Chinas and Woon, Chike Dozim or Former, NNAMDI and the rest of them. The one in Ireland, then I will assume Isaiah Oba. They are all running around in circles. They found a common enemy and they are united around it.
Yes.
Their common enemy is Sigmund Freud.
Yes.
And their new mantra is that Simon is the one responsible.
Yes.
For the destruction of lives and property in Igbo land. But NNAMDIKANU is Machineke.
Yes.
That is where the deception has got to its crescendo.
Hold it there. Do you not catch what he just said there now? So what he's saying is the one they call Chinas Anworo, Chike Doziem, the DOS, they are painting Sigmund Ekpa as the devil, while they are trying to exonerate the name of NNAMDIKANU, which is true. But at the end, his last statement is, do you now see the deception? So you will now ask yourself, underline the word deception. What does it mean by deceiving somebody? Who is trying to deceive somebody? Deception means to deceive someone or a people or to change a narrative. So you will now have to go back. It is called a regression analysis. Analyzing backward, taking it back to the origin, taking it back to the root, taking it from the beginning of the problem. The reason behind the problem between Uche Mefor and NNAMDIKANU. The reason behind the reason. Now you are looking at a regression analysis. When you go back, you will understand where does this man stand when it comes to NNAMDIKANU. Today, as we know, Uche Mefor is at loggerheads with NNAMDIKANU. He has called him a terrorist. In fact, he went to partner with Ambazonia. No, not Ambazonia. He went to partner with this man, the pig, they call Asad Dokubo, to open a Biafra government in exile or something like that. They did something, a customary something about Biafra. This same man, to go against and destroy the job of NNAMDIKANU. When NNAMDIKANU was free with us, he was attacking NNAMDIKANU. So what he was saying about the deception is that he's trying to say, as goes Sigmund Ekpa, goes NNAMDIKANU. So he didn't say Sigmund Ekpa is a good guy. It means NNAMDIKANU is a good guy. No. He said in his premise, he said Sigmund Ekpa has been seen, or they want to paint the picture as if he's the one responsible for all the ills in the land of Biafra, in Southeast. But on the other hand, they want to paint NNAMDIKANU as the holy guy, the holier than thou. So what he's trying to say is that in his own analysis, we must put Sigmund Ekpa where we put NNAMDIKANU. So if the DOS are saying Sigmund Ekpa is a criminal, he's a terrorist, he's killing his people, it means NNAMDIKANU is also a terrorist killing his people. That's where he's coming from. Because when you check the premise, after all said and done, in the ultimate analysis, when you break it down, this man dislikes NNAMDIKANU. So it means he is in support of attacking NNAMDIKANU, as seeing him as a terrorist. We've heard from his words that NNAMDIKANU is the one terrorizing the so-called Southeast. But if he has said here that Sigmund Ekpa is a good guy, don't paint him the way you are painting him. He's just, he's fighting for his people. So the same way you are saying NNAMDIKANU as a good guy, see Sigmund Ekpa that way. If he has ended with the topic being on the head of Sigmund Ekpa, it means he's in support of them saying Sigmund Ekpa as a good person. He's countering the DOS, but here he's supporting the notion that the DOS are saying Sigmund Ekpa is the bad guy, he's a criminal, he's a terrorist, he's killing his people. He's then saying, but how come you've said all that about him? He's in agreement with that, but how come you are now saying NNAMDIKANU as a saint, as holier than thou? Two different things, two different discussion here. It is called an oxymoron. They love me, they hate me. Oxymoron. He is bad, he is good. Oxymoron. That's how you break it down. So don't believe this idiot. He was trying to do what? Double speech. He was trying to play to the minds of those who cannot go in depth. Don't believe him. The same way Jesus did in the mountain. He saw Jesus. The devil saw Jesus has fasted for 40 days. He knew the flesh was hungry. He now came to Jesus, say, I know you're hungry. Oh. Why don't you change this stone to bread? That would have gone against the reason behind the fasting, because God asked Jesus to go and fast to discipline the flesh, to be in control of the flesh, because there was a mission ahead. Jesus refused, rebuked him. Yes, he was hungry. Yes, he had the power to change that stone to bread, but he refused. The other one, he told him, if you claim you are the Son of God, jump down from this mountain, and God will send his angels to guide you that your feet will not even touch the floor. Your feet will not even bruise the ground. Jesus again rebuked him. What's going on there? He's trying to make Jesus prove himself in order to disprove God. Double speech. And in the final one, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Listen to me. In the final one, he knew the assignment of Jesus, that Jesus will be going out to the world to spread the gospel of God. And the job will be hard. And, he now told him, look at the whole world. I can make it yours. Just bow down to me. And the world is yours. You see, the task should be hard, but the devil told Jesus to bow down to make it easier. Double speech. God gave you a task. God knew it to be hard. But someone is saying, bow down to me. Go against God. And the job will be easier. That was when Jesus now told the devil, get ye thee behind me, Satan. So in this case, Uche Mefor was making his case. Say, okay, you have painted Sigmund Ekpa to be the bad guy. Yes, it's a win-win for me. Paint him as a bad guy, I am happy. But he now used psychology. He said, but NNAMDIKANU, you want to paint him as the good guy? You say Sigmund Ekpa is bad, but NNAMDIKANU, you want to paint him as the good guy? Do you now understand the game now? That was where he was trying to use psychology to say, no, if you paint Simon Ekpa as bad, I agree with you. But NNAMDIKANU is also bad. But you guys want to paint him as a good guy. Do you now get it? Because he ended with the premise of NNAMDIKANU. If he has ended by saying, you all say NNAMDIKANU is good, it means Simon Ekpa too must be good. Then that's a different discussion entirely. But because he ended with NNAMDIKANU and not with Simon Ekpa, it means the last one is the one he is referring to. If you say Simon Ekpa is a bad man, it means NNAMDIKANU too must be condemned as a bad man. Don't tell me he's good. But if he's saying that to the DOS, Chinasanworo and all of them, you say NNAMDIKANU is good. NNAMDIKANU and Simon Ekpa, they are one. Simon Ekpa is a disciple of NNAMDIKANU. So if NNAMDIKANU is good, then you must see Simon Ekpa as being a good guy. This is our own stance. This is what we, the Biafrans, we are saying. Even when you see me, when I speak to the wife of NNAMDIKANU, I tell her, NNAMDIKANU, your husband was the one that told us to follow Simon Ekpa. So why are you angry with the one your husband asked us to follow? We love NNAMDIKANU and we love Simon Ekpa. So if you will blame Simon Ekpa, then blame your husband because he was the one that asked us to follow Simon Ekpa. That's a logic that makes sense. We know she loved her husband. So we are saying that your husband was the one that told us. He ordered us to follow Simon Ekpa, share his videos, because Simon is coming with a new dimension. Uchechi, why are you going against Simon Ekpa? Your husband was the one that told us. Your husband knows that Simon Ekpa is the most beloved disciple. So if you are saying that Simon Ekpa is the bad guy, don't blame him. Blame your husband, because he is the one that told the 80 million Biafrans to follow Simon Ekpa, share his videos, because Simon is coming with a new dimension. That's how you use your logic. But in this case, if I have told the wife of NNAMDIKANU, Uchechi, that, oh, you say Simon Ekpa is a bad guy. Okay, it means NNAMDIKANU is a bad guy. You must see him as a bad guy. It doesn't make sense. It means I'm in support of painting NNAMDIKANU as a bad guy. So to my sister, Progress Analyst, this is how you go in depth. It is called a regressive analysis or a regression. Analyzing backwards. You trail it, you trace back the step. The how and why. Why is he speaking this way? What is the origin? What is the history between this man and NNAMDIKANU? You will now know where he stands. Once you know where he stands, then you will now see where he's coming from, the logic. The same way in that zoo, they want to see Simon Ekpa down and NNAMDIKANU down. That's what the zoo wants. But with the Biafrans, we are saying Simon Ekpa is free and they must release NNAMDIKANU. Two different perspectives. That's how you break it down. So make we hear our sister, the way she now finalize her own analysis. She did well, don't get me wrong, but because I sabi Uche Mefor well. That guy, I've been watching him. I am waiting to spar with him intellectually. I sabi him well. That was why I saw where he was going with the narrative. It was called an oxymoron. You love me and you hate me. Oxymoron. You are good and you are bad. Oxymoron. Double speech. Now listen to my sister. Hear what she said. Listen.
We call a spade a spade.
Uh-huh.
The better and earlier the solution is profound. If you don't call that problem by its name, there is no way you can find solution. If you are not sincere, if you don't commit yourself,
you see,
there is no way you can make any movement. Uche Mefor, speaking from London.
From London.
I saw that a lot of people were blasting him after this video.
Listen.
Saying, oh, why will you talk like that? Why will you say Simon Ekpa is, there's no difference between NNAMDIKANU and Simon Ekpa? I'm still saying it. If you know NNAMDIKANU, then you know Simon Ekpa.
Yes.
I am telling you the truth. If you said NNAMDIKANU is innocent, see, I did here. I will still tell you that Simon Ekpa is innocent.
Yes.
How will you say they should crucify Simon Ekpa and leave NNAMDIKANU?
Hold it there, my sister. Now, this is the mistake you made. You just said, if you say NNAMDIKANU is innocent, then you will say Simon Ekpa is innocent. I agree with you. But in the analysis we just heard from Uche Mefor, he didn't start from NNAMDIKANU to Simon Ekpa. He started from Simon Ekpa to NNAMDIKANU. He said the DOS, Chida Sanworu, and the rest of them, Chike Doziem, they are saying Simon Ekpa is the problem. He's a criminal. He's a fraudster. He's this. He's that. He's a terrorist. He kills his people. He now said, if you are painting Simon Ekpa this way, then you don't have the right to paint NNAMDIKANU as a good person. Because NNAMDIKANU and Simon Ekpa, they are one. That's a different discussion. Because the beginning, the premise was what? Simon Ekpa being a bad guy. And he's telling them, if you say Simon Ekpa is a bad guy, it means you can't paint NNAMDIKANU as a good guy. My sister, do you not get it? If you say Simon Ekpa the devil, you cannot say NNAMDIKANU is God, because NNAMDIKANU and Simon Ekpa, they are one. Do you now get it? It means Simon Ekpa is devil and NNAMDIKANU is a devil, according to him. But what you just said, they say, if you say if you say NNAMDIKANU is holy, then it means Simon Ekpa is holy, because Simon Ekpa and NNAMDIKANU, they are one. Your own premise makes sense, because you started from NNAMDIKANU being holy, then logically Simon Ekpa too will be holy. Why? Because they are one. Do you get it? But he started from the negative, that Simon Ekpa being a bad guy. If they say that way, then they cannot say NNAMDIKANU is good. If you say Simon Ekpa is bad, you cannot say NNAMDIKANU is good. I want to paint it a bit simpler for the whole world to understand. In analysis, that's why when I hear news, I see pictures. I can see the words they are saying in a picture, in colors. I know the game they are playing. My brain, they were wired in a different way. When people are talking, I can see what they are saying in colors, in pictures, in codes. That's why I always decode the one they call Rufai Oseni. When he said, oh, NNAMDIKANU is good, though, but I hate the violence. I saw where he was coming from. Some of you didn't see it. You were saying, oh, this guy is good, though. No, I saw Rufai Oseni. I saw what he was saying there. So in this case, the beginning of the premise of Uche Mefor was that you all are saying Simon Ekpa is the bad guy. Then you have no right to say NNAMDIKANU is good, because they are together. They are one. Do you now understand? But for you, my sister, you said, if you are saying NNAMDIKANU is a saint, then you must also see Simon Ekpa as a saint, because they are one. I sabi them very well. NNAMDIKANU loves Simon Ekpa. Simon Ekpa is a disciple of NNAMDIKANU. So if NNAMDIKANU is a saint, you must see Simon Ekpa as a saint. My sister, I hope you have now seen the two different perspectives. When you analyze from a negative to a positive, it means you want to paint the positive as a negative. When you analyze from a positive to a negative, it means you are making a point that the negative should also be seen as a positive, because it came from a good side. I hope now you understand. This is how you go deeper. When you are hearing the news, this is how you go deeper, in depth. A critical analysis. This is how you do it. You look from both sides. You understand the psychology behind it. The reason they are saying what they are saying, and how come this man is speaking this way. What's the history between this man and NNAMDIKANU? We know the history of Uche Mefor. Now he's in England because of what? NNAMDIKANU gave that man life. Through IPOB, that man is now a British citizen because he claimed asylum with IPOB. And NNAMDIKANU signed this document. Today he's having the best of life in England, while NNAMDIKANU is languishing in the DSS dungeon. And to today, he still hates NNAMDIKANU with a passion. Uche Mefor hates NNAMDIKANU with a passion. So when he said, you all say Simon Ekpa is a bad guy, he didn't prove that Simon Ekpa is a good guy. He said, you all said Simon is a bad guy. Then how can you now say NNAMDIKANU is a good guy? They are both the same. But in your own case, my sister, you are saying, let me prove a fact. NNAMDIKANU is a good guy. We love him. He's our leader. And also, we believe Simon Ekpa too is a good guy because Simon Ekpa is a disciple of NNAMDIKANU. Even in some programs, we have seen Simon Ekpa do the anchor with NNAMDIKANU. We have seen them do programs together. You know, this is what you said, my sister. You are right. But you should have gone deeper to understand the origin of the problem. So you will now understand what Uche Mefor was saying. What he was saying was diabolical, was criminal. But to the layman, you would think he was speaking right. No. He's saying that lock up Simon Ekpa and make sure NNAMDIKANU rots in jail because they are both the same. But in your own case, my sister, you are saying NNAMDIKANU is holy. So there is no way you can crucify Simon Ekpa because they are both the same. They are doing the same job. My sister, let's continue with your own analysis and I'll wrap it up. Listen.
Thing that is everybody that will be able to keep quiet to see the words or the injustice that is mounting on Simon Ekpa today. Simon Ekpa has joined this struggle. Time without number, we have seen his interview, we have seen his videos where he said, I joined because I am convinced by NNAMDIKANU.
Yes.
And he also made some statement. Did you guys know what NNAMDIKANU told me? Do you know the agreement between himself, Simon Ekpa, and NNAMDIKANU? Everybody there. The first time we got the news that NNAMDIKANU is already in Nigeria, the first person that he want to hand over the Radio Biafra to is Simon Ekpa.
Yes.
If their two not get good relationship, if they never talk beyond or behind a lot of people, how NNAMDIKANU take recall say Simon Ekpa is the one that is fit to handle the Radio Biafra? Now I make you go know say he get wetin their two plan where be say no other person know about it. The truth is, it is better to tell ourselves the truth. Right from the very beginning, I did not come for this platform say there is no difference between NNAMDIKANU and Simon Ekpa. So you that is rejoicing that thank God said don't go Simon Ekpa, they release NNAMDIKANU, then you don't know who NNAMDIKANU is and what he represents and what he stands for. Because you follow NNAMDIKANU, you don't really know him. Everybody witnessed the last court ruling that is NNAMDIKANU. You know they fear, you know they look your face. Now tell me, where did you think that Simon Ekpa carried that fearless attitude from? How many people or Biafra's leaders or something that can speak boldly the way Simon Ekpa do? I never see her. See, thank God a lot of people stand for the truth to say Simon Ekpa is nowhere different from NNAMDIKANU. So the way you they say NNAMDIKANU is innocent, you are saying Simon Ekpa is not innocent because you see Simon Ekpa as your arrival. You see Simon Ekpa as your enemy. That is why you decide to join the other party to fight Simon Ekpa. Not really you even like the Biafra struggle, no. Not really you even love NNAMDIKANU, no. Not really you really want NNAMDIKANU to be released. But because you don't like Simon Ekpa, you just decide to join hands. For now, hand bucket. Share everybody last. Everybody don't feel alright. After the last court of NNAMDIKANU, a lot of people has been placed to where they belong. We now notice that some people just they fight Simon Ekpa just because they see Simon Ekpa as threat, say go take their position. Especially the time that NNAMDIKANU says Simon Ekpa should broadcast on Radio Biafra. They were so worried. They see Simon Ekpa that, oh, this person is coming to take our position. That is why they are fighting him. That is just all. It's just that they are fighting a common enemy. That is just what they did. And last, after Simon Ekpa out of the way, what is going on right now? Everybody's not crying at Danu. I said it, I said last, all of it are going to do all right. Because people that stand for the truth and people that will also speak, they are still here. They never sleep. They know the beginning and they also know the end. So, lastly, all the people that are saying Simon Ekpa is different from NNAMDIKANU is innocent. Oh, Simon Ekpa is a problem. Markets. Now you see that there are people that know the beginning and they are following up the issue back to back. So don't play. Thank you so much, everyone. Nice to meet you.
Hold on there, my sister. You've spoken well. You have tried. You've tried. You've spoken well. You've tried. But you see, this job, it's not easy. To analyze, it's not easy. You have to be careful when you're doing analysis, because if you not do a historical background analysis of the speaker, the one they call Uche Mefor, sometimes you must study that person to know. Like I told you guys, when you are doing an exam for school, please, those that have kids, tell your children, when they are studying for an exam in school, this is a very good example. Your teacher, your lecturer might give you a textbook to study. They might give you a syllabus to study and pass that exam. But if you want to be an A student, if you want to get a distinction in your course, in your exam, learn to read beyond the scope of the syllabus. What do I mean? If they say, okay, for this your exam, read about Nigeria, for example, what you should do is to go beyond the scope. Learn and study before Nigeria became a country. What was it? Go beyond that scope. You see, before it was called Niger area, what was happening before then? Go in depth into their, the political situations. What happened in Nigeria in 1966? Even in 1958, when the North said they were not ready for independence. But suddenly now they are the ones ruling Nigeria, and they don't want to break up, even though they were the first to say it is time to break up Nigeria. Do an in-depth analysis of a tribe that said they are the most educated. They pride themselves to be the most educated in Nigeria, but suddenly that same tribe, they are pandering to the North. You see, once you go on those levels, study those textbooks that speak about those things around Nigeria. Now, when you are doing your exam, when you write your answer will come be more vast than the person that is limited to just the syllabus. They only write what they remember from the syllabus. But you, when they write the exam, you are giving even examples of a pre-Nigeria. The lecturer, the teacher will be blown away, because they will now see how vast your knowledge is on that topic. They will see how vast your knowledge is in that topic. Before I go, I remember I gave you an example. There was a course I was doing then, psychology in university. I was so in love with the story of the man they call Sigmund Freud. He came with a theory known as psycho, and and I think there's one word they call it then. A very good, thing to study then. He was studying the psychology of people. His patients, those that had those trauma, they had what they call psychosomatic. They were psychosomatic patients. And Sigmund Freud was now studying how to help them out. So the syllabus was to study Sigmund Freud and all about him. Psychoanalysis or something like that. I think that was about where they told us. But what I did was I read beyond the scope, because I had a love for that topic. So when I went to the library, I hired books then about Sigmund Freud. And after reading the syllabus, because your first job is to study the syllabus. After I have studied the syllabus, I now went to study this man called Sigmund Freud. Sigmund Freud, I believe that's his name. Then I found something out. In one of his books, he made a confession. I repeat, in one of his books, he made a confession of one of his clients known as Anna O. They won't give you their surname, they will hide the surname, but it was Anna O. That client, she was a very beautiful woman, rich, a glamorous woman filled with glamour. But she was going through psychosomatic, something like that. So she became dirty, she became unwell, she became sick, she was traumatized, she couldn't deal with her health, she was looking dirty and the rest of it. But because she came from a rich home, the family now sent her to Sigmund Freud to see if he'll be able to assist her. Now, when he was doing his stuff now, counseling her, asking her those questions, going in depth into her mind to understand the rationale behind what is happening, the traumatic experience, this lady was now feeling much better after some sessions with Sigmund Freud. But suddenly, whenever she is now coming to the session, she was now dressing in a glamorous way. Her perfume, they smell well, the sweet savor. When she enters the room, he said he will smell a sweet savor. And when he smelled that thing now, he now saw the glamour of this woman. The beauty of this woman was now coming out. It was emanating. He was surprised. See, under 3 months, having this woman as a client, she has turned around. He's now seeing the beauty of this woman. An example, say, somebody when they mad for streets, they chop from the dustbin. You are now trying to heal her psychologically. Suddenly, she's getting much better. As she's coming to your office for the session, she is now looking like a Beyonce. You could see her beauty. The perfume, very, very expensive. She's coming in, she's giving you gifts, giving you flowers as she's leaving. For the first time, he now made a mistake. He now fell in love with his clients. Sigmund Freud, the great man, he fell in love with his clients, and he went against the profession. You see, this thing called mental health is you guys have to respect those in the field of mental health. He fell in love with his clients, and later he regretted it. Towards the end of the last chapter of that book, listen to me. Towards the end of the last chapter of that book, he was speaking out loud. He now said, because of the mistake he made of falling in love with his client, he then decided to do away with sex. He now said sex is more like an animal instinct. When you have the drive, the urge for sex, it's an animal instinct. But he gave a revelation that till this day, people are using that stuff. He now said, going forward, whenever he has a sex urge, they drive to make love or whatever, he used that urge to think about something great. And in that midst of thinking about something great, converting the urge to make love into something else, he became great. He now had the power or the expertise to help people a lot. He was now being able to heal more people, to expand his knowledge in the field of psychology. So in my exam, when I wrote this, the lecturer was going crazy because he gave us just a syllabus to read. But because I went beyond the scope to understand the psychology of that man, to know what this man is about, to know his history, being an Austrian neurologist and the rest of them, understand his perspective to life, understand what happened to this man, the how, the why. I didn't only score an A in that field or in that course, but also I went extra. When said the lecturer came to me and said, please, how did you do it? That there was a story that he was looking for, and I found the end of the story of Anna O. He wanted to know what happened to Anna O, but he didn't have no more information of how it ended between Sigmund Freud and the patient called Anna O. But because I read verse, luckily I was able to find that book that told the full story between Sigmund Freud and Anna O. I was able to now give a conclusion of what happened between Sigmund Freud and Anna O. And the lecturer, perhaps he was reading something that didn't cover the whole, background of that story. So through me, he was able to now understand what happened between Sigmund Freud and Anna O. So what I'm saying that to say this is, my sister, I understand. You've just heard Uche Mefor in the psychology he used to speak about Sigmund Ekpa being bad. People paint him as a bad guy, and they paint NNAMDIKANU as a good guy. And to your own assumption, you assumed what he said was right. But me, I had to go deeper to the history between NNAMDIKANU and Uche Mefor. Just as I went deeper in the story between Sigmund Freud and Anna O. And I've told you the background, the origin of the problem between Uche Mefor and NNAMDIKANU. So now you now have a better picture, a bigger picture, what they call the lost picture. The lost picture. That this man was speaking from a viewpoint of hate. Uche Mefor hated NNAMDIKANU with a passion. Despite him being in England, was because of NNAMDIKANU, was because of Biafra, was because of IPOB. But he hated NNAMDIKANU with a passion. And what he was saying about NNAMDIKANU was a psychological way of saying, if you say Sigmund Ekpa is a bad guy, then NNAMDIKANU is a bad guy. I could only decipher that information because I know the history about Uche Mefor and NNAMDIKANU. So my sister, Progress the Analyst, you've done very well. But like in the story I gave, what you read was the handout between Uche Mefor and NNAMDIKANU. But me, I went back to the library. I borrowed books, historical background, books, journals, textbooks, write-ups about NNAMDIKANU and Uche Mefor. And by doing so, I now had a perfect understanding, a perfect knowledge of the feud between Uche Mefor and NNAMDIKANU. So when I heard your video of Uche Mefor speaking to the DOS, China Sanworu, and the rest of them, saying, how come you all say Sigmund Ekpa is responsible, he's a bad guy, he's a criminal, he's a terrorist, but you paint NNAMDIKANU as the good guy. They are both together. So it means, if you say Sigmund Ekpa is bad, NNAMDIKANU is bad. That was where he was leaning towards, my sister. That was what he meant. So please don't get it twisted in your analysis. You did well, but your scope in your research between NNAMDIKANU and Uche Mefor was limited. It was an example of using a handout given to you by your lecturer to read and pass exam. But me, yes, I bought the handout. During those days, you buy the handout from your lecturer. But I took my time to go to the library to go and search for those books between NNAMDIKANU and Uche Mefor. That's why in my own analysis, I had more material. I had more knowledge. I had more information. Lord have mercy. Fellow Biafrans, this is how you teach your children this way. It's a learning time for you all. When you are speaking to your children, don't limit them to the books they've given them to study. They must study wide. I now knew about the psychosexual theory of Sigmund Freud. The reason why he came up with the psychosexual theory was because of the mistake, the blunder he made between himself and Anna O. Lord have mercy, I rest my case. For those who have ears, let them hear me. For those who have ears, let them hear. From me, from here, for now, I want to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. I remain yours truly, your brother, your friend, the man of the hour, the man of the people. I remain Biafra, Superstars Media. God bless you and God bless Biafra.
Biafra must be restored, for there is nothing the enemies can do about it. You brought Biafra that light may come into Africa. You gave us hope because we are in a continent of hopelessness. And by thy grace, Biafra shall be restored. We shall be resurrected. We shall crown our efforts with the glory by the grace of the Most High Himself. We are not strong. We do not pretend to be strong. All we do is to submit ourselves to your will, that your will may be done upon our lives. We have lost many people. We have lost so many good people. Their sacrifice will never be forgotten. We shall honor them, and for their sake, Biafra will come. Because we are wandering all over the world, hoping against every hope that things will turn around for the better. It has never turned around for the better. Instead, it is getting worse. Please do not abandon your children. You have given us a commission, and we must accomplish it in our lifetime. Our enemies are equally important because they must listen. Those who do not love the truth must listen. Those who are beholden to darkness, they must also listen. For we are here to bring light upon a very darkened continent without Biafra. Africa is nothing without Biafra. There is no difference between a black man and a wild animal in the forest. We say every shred with every ounce of conviction. I welcome each and every one of you. If you're joining us for the very first time, this is Radio Biafra. This is how we do it. We magnify the name of the Most High before we do anything. That is why we are exceptionally formidable. That is why